Hi, my name is Eva Judge and I'm from Affordable Stuff, and here with me I've got Damien Barnett, also from Affordable Stuff. Hi, I'm well. And Jade Wellings.
Hello.
Yes, and Jade is from AAOK Parks. Yeah, I love the OK at the end. Thanks for coming, Jade. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So, Damien?
Yeah, and I thought I suppose we just want to, you've been a client with us now for just on 12 months.
Has it been that long already?
Yeah.
Yes.
So quick?
Yes.
And I suppose we just want to talk to you about you in the real estate sector, but you've got a different type of model and you're not the traditional, I suppose, real estate agency with what you do. So why did you decide to outsource? Why outsourcing?
Well, I'd been thinking about it for a long time, and as you guys know, I met you at the property management conference, which I do come to every year. And even though I don't directly run a property management business anymore, I'm still involved in the accommodation industry through a group of family companies that do caravan parks, motels, resorts, and workforce accommodation. So it's always been in the back of my mind, maybe for 3 or 4 years before I even did it, long before I even knew you guys. And when I met you at the conference and I got to see some of your staff in the Philippines and see them up on the screen, talk to them, interact with them, realise that they're actually just people. It's
they're
not
human,
just,
aren't they?
Yeah. And
they speak English.
Yeah,
like
they
really
do.
well.
And they were lovely. And
Yes.
I guess, I've always wanted to have a crack at it, but always been worried about whether I'd have enough work that I could outsource or give to them to keep them busy. And where we've been stuck in our business is, one of our businesses is actually in remote Western Australia.
Yes.
And it's one of our largest businesses, and we at any one time in the office there maybe have about 4 staff working, and they struggle to retain them over there because of where it is. Most of the staff that are coming and going are backpackers. They're not local to the area, so they'll come in and they'll work for 6 months and then they'll take off.
Yes.
And when they do that, it has a massive impact on the business because we have to spend time then retraining,
and that's so expensive.
I would say even now still, even though we have outsourced and we've reduced that problem, the problem is still there because we do still have to, we're constantly in training someone new mode. But by outsourcing, because the stability of the workforce in the Philippines is much higher than what it is in remote Western Australia, we can have a team member or two that we know are going to be stuck there and stay with us for the long term.
Yes.
So
And I think
that's why.
One of the things that we work on really strongly with our clients is actually having a process, because team members even in the Philippines move on.
Yes.
And that we've got a system to actually reduce that training burden on our clients so that
Exactly.
they can hit, so that if we do have to change team members, that we can actually move forward and have the client is not, I suppose, impacted as much as it would be locally.
Yep.
And I guess that's actually happened to
yeah.
you. So in Jade, in your situation, we had Tess working for you, and she was lucky enough to actually get a visa approved to go and live in Canada.
Yeah.
But we had Ella that stepped in, and we're having the conversation yesterday. You haven't even spoken to Ella yet, and she's fully taken over the role completely seamlessly with,
Yeah.
Actually, we need to talk to her today.
Yes. We do.
Yes.
No, it has been good because they've been able to spend the 3 weeks together training each other, but that's not even the main thing I think that is the selling point for that, because where it's really shone for me is you guys taught me how to use all of the technology that I needed to communicate with them. You taught me how to record a training session with the VA. So when thinking back to our very first VA, Queenie, was her nickname, and my staff actually, not myself personally, but my staff all trained her on these videos, and we saved all the videos into our Google Drive. And then I think so just to be clear for anyone that's listening, I've got 2 VAs, and the first one works for the Western Australia place, and the second lot because I've had 2 in each site. So the first one, when Queenie turned over and we had to get somebody else, they were able to just sit there and watch all the same videos that she learnt. So it really minimised the time that the people in the office had to spend actually training.
That's exactly right.
And then the same thing with
Claire.
Says and
Says. So yes.
No, yeah. Anyway. We know who we're talking about.
Yep.
Yes, we do.
So same thing there, but the other place that I didn't expect it to shine really was the staff that we get in the office.
Actually, that was
physically
going
the
to be my
Australians
question.
or the backpackers, if it is in Western Australia, that come in that we would normally spend a lot of time training. On their first day, we can just say, sit down and watch these videos, and they're watching the videos we made for our VAs.
And they're learning.
Doing the same, and
so it's actually streamlined the entire business
Yeah.
across board in Australia and the Philippines. And actually, we were having the conversation just before, and you mentioned Jing. Jing's the little screen capturing tool. So, you mentioned you've told everybody about
I know.
Jing. So,
and actually, Jing and Zoom, the two programs that you showed me how to use, we use them every day for all sorts of things.
That's exactly right.
And now I've even started using Zoom for myself. So, when you do those tasks and you're the only one that knows how to do it. I was sitting there the other day, only probably about 3 weeks ago in my office going, I'm the only one that knows how to... It was the most boring task ever.
What happens if you went on holidays?
I'm like, I'm just going to make a Zoom video on this and I'm just going to put it into my cloud so that if somebody else says, oh, no, I can't do that, I can go, well, here's a video.
But if you go on holidays, but what if something happens and you needed someone to step in?
Exactly.
So everybody should be replaceable no matter what role they hold. That's my theory.
Agree.
So,
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I suppose trust is one of the issues when we're talking to people. Is trust important to you when you're considering an outsourced person? I suppose then why did you choose us? It leads on from that.
So I was probably less panicky than what a real estate agent would be because I'm not operating a trust account. That's one thing. But I did query that. I think it was yourself, Damien, I was talking to in the early days, and another family member that works in our group of companies, Fiona, I don't know if you've spoken to her. No. She said to me, oh, there's this other company. I won't say what their name is. There's this other company that do it, and they're cheaper. And I said, oh, really? She goes, well, make sure you look into them too, because I met them somewhere. And I was like, well, I met these guys somewhere. And I said, okay, to be fair, I'll look into them. And I contacted them as well. And the key difference between you guys and them, and the reason why it felt, I didn't even think that much, to be honest, in the early days as a security. I thought, oh, it's worth the risk. We'll see what happens, I'm a bit of a risk taker, but it became apparent when I talked to these guys and then back to Damien again, because the other guys have staff working from a house on their own laptop, where that everybody's got a rooster in their backyard, I was told, or dogs that make noise. If the VA is going to be using the phone, that's going to be a problem.
Yes.
And also, there's a real issue there with where the data's stored. That's so right. If they're accessing my system from their own laptops or their own desktops, what's happening with that and what happens if they stop working for me. And then the other thing that I liked about you guys was that instead of that, you have an office with supervisors and generators, because the power is renowned for going out over there as well.
That's right.
And I have spoken to
particularly in a home-based environment.
Yeah.
It's more stable in commercial zones, but it's an issue.
And a colleague of mine did go through the other mob, and she did say that. She said it's always dropping out. It's crap.
So we need to talk to your colleague, obviously.
Yes.
In case the
details. She had a terrible experience, and she has a trust account, and this is through somebody else, and it's solely because that they didn't have any protection, and it was just little old mate in his house.
But that's trust accounting, that's a serious issue, particularly what if the clients find out about it? Like, oh my God.
And I love that I know that my people turn up for work in your building under the review of your supervisors on your computers.
Yes.
It's really secure.
But they also have signed non-disclosure agreements as well. So technically, not that it has ever happened, but if somebody was to even think about doing something wrong, we have a legally binding agreement which they have signed, which is enforceable. So
that's important.
It's important. Just the knowledge that it's there would, is a massive factor in preventing it from happening in the first place. So
what limitations you found so far with our system and the process, and the team?
Good question.
Did you have any? And I suppose you're talking about the team need to check out this other company. Have you had any? I suppose has your local team taken the fact that they've now got two team members working overseas?
In the early days, you could see the nerves, like, are we losing our jobs? Are they outsourcing in the early days?
Yes.
And I've been communicating with them here and there about how it's going, and they love it. They think, oh, it's so good. It's so much help. One of the big challenges we had in our Western Australia office was the emails. They would flood in, and we did a mystery shop on some of our competitors and ourselves to see how long it would take to respond to an email, like a booking request for some accommodation. Fiona did this one.
Yes.
And one of the competitors was like within 5 minutes, and we took hours.
Wow.
And then now that we've got
Ella.
The new one, Ella in place. The new one that I must talk to.
Yes.
Now that we've got Ella in place, the emails are clean.
Yes.
And every now and then one of our VAs needs to take a day off, and everyone's fine with it. The other day, it was the first time I noticed. I said, "Oh, she's going to take a day off on this date," and they were like,
Oh my God, with the emails.
yeah, exactly. What are we going to do?
So do they communicate with your clients directly, or is it only
yes.
via email? Or?
Only via email. We don't do phone as yet,
Yeah.
mostly because we haven't had a need to.
Yes.
But they are emailing, and we have some quite large clients that book hundreds of rooms with us at any one time.
Any feedback from the
Corporate
clients so far? Like, has anyone mentioned anything? Yeah?
Yep. We did have one company that was a little bit disgruntled with our service,
Yes.
and then they dealt with it. Was a previous one of our VAs, and we're just singing her praises in an email. They have no idea she's on the other side of the world.
Fantastic.
And because they have nicknames that are commonly Australian sounding
Yeah.
names, that helps too, because I think that they just believe they're in our office and we don't tell them otherwise. And
But you actually have a Filipino person working in your office too.
we do.
That's
do.
right.
Yeah.
So-
We have one of our longest serving members in that office is a Filipino, actually.
right.
That's physically in the office. So that's been helpful too, also
Yeah.
for us.
So what's the biggest difference it's made to your business? How's outsourcing changed? I suppose your lifestyle,
Yeah.
your business, the business entities that, in Western Australia and Queensland.
Productivity largely. So productivity, customer service, obviously, because they get back to people really quickly. But the fact that all the people in the office have a lighter load, we are able to put less people on the roster as a result of that, and that helps with the bottom line as well. We don't like spending a lot of money on
Nobody does.
on wages, but it's everything. It's been amazing.
And what about stress levels, or has that impacted the business at all?
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
It's lower. It's lower for
Yes.
the guys on the ground working in the office.
Yes.
They know that they've got that backup. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I suppose finally,
Another question?
Yeah, finally, like the question I was asked, what would you say to any business owner that's, I suppose, sitting on the fence at the moment, thinking, can I do this? Is outsourcing for me?
Feeling nervous about it, maybe.
Yeah, feeling nervous about it. What would you be advice for? Whether they're in real estate, traditional real estate, or you're in a different version
Slightly
of real
version,
estate
Yep.
market. What would your advice be to them?
It's interesting because a lady bailed me up in the toilet about an hour ago and asked me exactly
really?
that. I'm not even
really?
kidding. Yeah. Just in the toilet.
Go and hang out in the toilet tomorrow. No.
And I said, like, I was in the same place 12 months ago. I was really nervous that I wouldn't have enough work to give somebody. I was really nervous about the actual implementation. How is that even going to work? I don't even know how to train someone on the other side of the country, let alone the other side of the world. It's difficult. Like, it's a mental thing, though, really. Once you know how to do it, it's okay. Maybe what I didn't realise at the time was how much support I was going to get from you, Eva, with the whole... This is
And it
how
was
we
so
do it.
easy. We literally did it in like under an hour.
I know, like it took me no time to learn,
Yeah.
but it's like this mental block. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. And then suddenly 1 hour of training and I'm like, yeah, I'm all over that. That's easy. I'll show my other team how to do that.
That's right. So you had Jing, you had Skype, you had Zoom, everything all ready.
So I think my advice would be just to have a go. Don't worry about what you've got to give them, whether you've got enough work to give them, because that will come. Maybe you probably need about a week of a slightly clearer schedule just to make sure that you can, because you still have to integrate them like a team member. You can't just treat them like they're nobody on the other side of the world and they'll be right, they'll figure it out.
They're a human being.
They are a human. They're like any
Exactly.
staff member. You do need to train them. But with the training videos that you make, lots of short videos, if they've forgotten how to do something, they don't need to ask me again and waste my time. They just go back to the video and watch it again. So it's quite simple, really.
Fantastic.
So, Jade,
Excellent.
thank you very much for your time. Really
No worries.
appreciate speaking to you.
Cool.
No, thanks so much. Really appreciate your time, and of course all the referrals you're sending our way and all the good things you say about us. I really, really appreciate that. And Jade, thank you so much for coming to have this conversation with us. We really appreciate your time. So, of course, if anyone would like to contact us, please visit our website, www.affordablestuff.com.au. And looking forward to chatting with you soon. Thanks, Jade. Thanks, Damien.
Thanks.
Bye.